The set is charged, the lights blazing, and expectations sky high. Yet one moment of genuine candor can shift the entire narrative. In tonight's conversation, Karoline Leavitt transformed a high-pressure debate into a masterclass in integrity, leaving even the host scrambling for words. Before we dive into this compelling story, please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share in the comments below a time when you witnessed someone stand up for what is right. Let's begin. In a sophisticated studio filled with glistening lights and an attentive audience, the atmosphere is electric. Rows of cameras are trained on a modern set where Karoline Leavitt sits calmly at a sleek podium. Known for her unwavering resolve and measured intellect, Karoline exudes confidence. Today, she's here to address tough questions. Questions designed to trap her into defensive rhetoric. Across from her, Graham Layton, a well-known liberal commentator with a reputation for relentless, aggressive questioning, sports a polished smile that barely conceals his intent. His producers exchanged knowing glances backstage, clearly anticipating a verbal showdown. Yet from the moment the opening credits faded, it was evident that this was no ordinary debate. Graham leans forward and begins, his voice smooth yet laced with expectation. "Karoline, it's rare to see someone from your side ready to engage in an honest discussion. Tell me, are you truly prepared to face the challenges of modern policy in today's America?" The audience listens intently. Karoline meets his gaze unflinchingly and replies, "I'm always prepared to engage honestly. I only hope that tonight we can focus on what matters instead of resorting to empty provocations." A murmur ripples through the crowd, a mixture of amusement and anticipation. Graham's smile tightens slightly as he continues, setting the tone for the debate. Without a pause, Graham's tone sharpens as he shifts to his next line of attack. "Many say that your party is out of touch with the struggles of everyday Americans, especially young people facing record-high inflation, sky-high rents, and crippling student debt. How do you explain policies that seem designed for political gain rather than real progress?" His words, carefully chosen, are meant not as a question but as a premise, a trap to force a defensive response. For a split second, the air grows heavy with anticipation as the audience braces for impact. Karoline tilts her head slightly, her expression calm and reflective. "Let me ask you this," she begins, her voice measured. "What about the same young people burdened by those economic hardships? They aren't out there because of an abstract ideology. They're struggling day to day. If listening to their pain is considered outdated, then perhaps it's time we rethink what modern really means." A hush falls. The subtle power in her words turns the question on its head, and the room begins to shift in its allegiance. Graham, not willing to relinquish control, leans in even further. "But isn't it convenient to dismiss criticism with rehearsed answers? Can you tell us with absolute certainty that your policies have never neglected the very people they claim to help?" The tension escalates. Every camera captures the slight set of Karoline's jaw as she holds his gaze steadily. "I have consistently worked to uphold the law and protect citizens," she replies calmly. "Leadership isn't about pandering to every criticism. It's about making tough decisions in the face of adversity. If we ignore the economic realities that burden our youth, then who is really out of touch?" Her answer is not defensive but transformative, a pivot that reframes the conversation from blame to the necessity of genuine policy reform. The audience reacts with quiet approval, their eyes fixed on every nuance of her delivery. Graham, now determined to press on, changes the subject. "Let's talk about free speech. Critics argue that unfettered speech can enable hate and misinformation. Do you believe there should be limits on what can be said?" A beat of silence ensues. Karoline's eyes sparkle with thoughtful defiance as she responds, "Freedom of speech protects not only the words we cherish but also those we disagree with. Once we start drawing arbitrary lines, we risk silencing dissent. And history teaches us that today's defenders of acceptable speech can become tomorrow's censors of inconvenient truths." Her calm yet piercing words shift the focus of the debate. The audience leans in, sensing that this is a moment where the real principles are on the line, not just political rhetoric. Graham isn't done. Sensing an opening, he leans forward with a provocative smirk. "But let's be specific. During your tenure, there was that lawsuit against a major corporation, a case that mysteriously vanished from public view. How do you justify that?" Graham's tone is accusatory, designed to provoke scandal, yet Karoline's response is unhurried and deliberate. "Those claims were fully investigated," she states firmly. "What you label as scandal was simply the legal process in action. Sensationalism thrives when facts are twisted. I prefer to focus on substantiated truths rather than manufactured controversies. Her words echo in the silent room, and even Graham's forced smile falters for a moment, his carefully built argument unraveling before the audience's eyes. Graham, shifting his strategy, now tries to turn the discussion personal. You're known for defending policies that many believe have left everyday people behind. Do you really think you understand the struggles of those on the fringes, or are you just part of the establishment? Karoline leans forward, her tone steady and empathetic. I have always believed that the strength of a leader is measured not by how many agree with them, but by how they confront adversity. I have listened to the pain of those burdened by economic hardship, and I have worked to create policies that provide real relief. If anyone is out of touch, it's not the people who speak up about their struggles, it's those who ignore them. The clarity in her voice turns the tide. The audience reacts with nods and murmurs of agreement as Graham's aggressive approach loses its force against her unwavering conviction. With the debate intensifying, Graham makes one last attempt to regain control. All right then, he says. If we're talking about solutions, what concrete changes do you propose to fix these so-called problems? How do we move forward when the system seems so broken? This time, Karoline's eyes brighten with a hint of determination. True progress, she declares, is not about imposing one's narrative from a position of authority. It's about engaging in meaningful debate, listening to every side, and crafting policies that uplift everyone. We must trust adults to think for themselves rather than relying on a government-issued permission slip for truth. Her words resonate with the audience, shifting the focus from endless accusations to tangible ideas for a better future. Realizing that her genuine responses have turned the tide, Karoline delivers her final message with quiet power. In our fight for accountability, we must never lose sight of one truth. Real change isn't achieved by silencing dissent. It's achieved through honest dialogue. When we let fear dictate our words, we compromise the very freedom that defines us. I stand here not to win a debate, but to remind everyone that progress comes from embracing the full spectrum of ideas, even the uncomfortable ones. A profound silence falls over the room. The cameras capture every nuance of her expression, the calm determination, the slight lift of her chin, and the unwavering intensity in her eyes. The audience, now fully engaged, erupts into a respectful, measured applause. Graham, forced to acknowledge the shift, clears his throat and offers a strained smile as he concludes the segment. Now, we want to hear from you. Have you ever witnessed a debate where integrity triumphed over aggression? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone to embrace honest conversation. If you found this discussion as enlightening and thought-provoking as we did, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analyses on leadership and accountability, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. Remember, genuine progress is built on honest dialogue and the courage to stand by the truth. Thank you for watching, and until next time, speak your truth, listen carefully, and let integrity guide you.